sequel trilogy and what I was able to do, the accomplishment I had with Lucasfilm. What? What? Disney wants to cancel the sequel trilogy? Just act like it never happened? My life's work? No! That was exclusive footage of J.J. Abrams. I don't know how I got it. Don't ask me. It's a secret. Guys, Final Death Star, thanks for tuning in to this episode installment show. If you're new here, please do consider subscribing. There's a little button down there that says subscribe. It's pretty self-explanatory. So you can click it, and then you will know every time I upload a video. Do it for you, the people. All right, so you might have heard a rumor that Lucasfilm is having a change of heart, or I guess maybe Disney is having a change of heart towards the sequel trilogy, towards Disney Star Wars, towards the thing that the fans have been freaking complaining about for years now, because we haven't felt respected by Disney and Lucasfilm, and we don't like what they're doing with the franchise by inserting, well, not really even inserting their politics, but it's more putting that in front of the story writing, right? Where they're not caring about the original content, they're not caring about the original story, the original characters, the intent that was there from the get-go with George. And we've been vocal about our displeasure and how they've handled, one of the greatest franchises in film history, one of the greatest merchandising IPs in merchandising history, let alone film history, anything. We've been calling for a change. Now it seems all of a sudden Disney's having a change of heart. Perhaps it's because they haven't seen the ching-ching. Could that be part of it? Could that be the driving force behind this? I don't know. I would say, at some point it's got to break, right? How much money can you afford to lose until you say, okay, maybe we got to make a change. Maybe we actually have to make the fans of this franchise happy. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's something. Okay, so let's get into this article. This is coming from entertainment Deseret.com. It's a new site for me, so I'm not sure how it's pronounced exactly, but I will link it so you guys can check it out. And it says, new rumor suggests Disney will reset Star Wars universe, erase The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. The entire sequel trilogy might be erased if this rumor proves true. An unconfirmed and potentially bogus internet rumor suggests Disney may reset the entire Star Wars cinematic universe, erasing The Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker. I assume, maybe Solo and Rogue One. Well, I don't know if they go along with it or not. Tough to say. The rumor, which comes from a YouTube channel, suggests there's some inner turmoil at Disney, and they want to go in a new direction. We have heard about this, the civil war between the Favreau crew and the KK crew. I've talked about this. We've talked about this in our community before. So, could this be, if it's true? It obviously lends credence to the fact that there is some kind of civil war. But the entire report is unconfirmed and unlikely. But let's talk about the details for a second and see what it might mean for the Star Wars franchise going forward. So the rumor suggests Disney would use a concept from Star Wars Rebels. I've mentioned this numerous times that they have this world between worlds, which they could use if they wanted to. It's time travel, kind of. Not too many people are happy about it. I don't know myself how I feel about it, but if it erases the Disney trilogy, I might be able to overlook some things. How would it work? Star Wars Rebels introduced the Veil of the Force, which was a mythical dimension that connects time and space together. It's the World Between Worlds episode that Ezra's able to open up this portal, and Palpatine was very interested in learning how to control it. It helps you see the past, present, and future events. Disney would use this concept to change the series. In Rebels, the character Ezra Bridger jumps into the portal. Inside, he found a doorway between space and time, and he saved his friend Ahsoka Tano from death at the hands of Darth Vader. Here are some Rebels clips. Okay, they show you the clips there. I'm not going to play them because I don't want to get a strike on my channel. But you guys can check them out when I link the article down below. How the Veil of the Force can change Star Wars. Okay, so the rumor suggests Disney would use the Veil of the Force to make the entire sequel trilogy an alternate universe, creating a timeline of events that could have occurred if certain things happened differently. It would no longer be the canon storyline. How would this happen? Here's the detail. The details are a little sketchy, but it starts with Emperor Palpatine, who reportedly had a room on the second Death Star called the Room of Mirrors. The mirrors were used to perform Sith rituals. For example, Palpatine reportedly used the mirrors to manipulate the Force so the Jedi Council could not see the Chancellor Palpatine was Darth Sidious in the prequel trilogy, according to Cosmic Book News. Palpatine, this rumor suggests, used the mirrors again when Darth Vader threw him down the shaft at the end of Return of the Jedi, redeeming the character of Anakin Skywalker, which was totally undermined in Rise of Skywalker, where Palpatine rises again. So confusing. He opened the portal in the Veil of the Force and ended up on Exegol, the planet where we find him in Rise of Skywalker. This explains why he's damaged but not completely dead in the film. Disney, in order to reset the universe, would probably, maybe, who knows, who cares? Well, I don't know. Create a scene where someone stops Palpatine from arriving on Exegol, making it so he dies at the end of Return of the Jedi. Now, if that's not Anakin, yet the problem is you're still undermining the Chosen One. You're still stopping the redemption of Anakin Skywalker if Palpatine doesn't die by Anakin's hand. I think, I'm going to guess if Filoni has anything to do with it, it's probably going to be Ahsoka, right? Because she screwed up the timeline when she was supposed to die by Vader, by Vader's hand. And Ezra brought her back in, and Palpatine then dies, and therefore no more manipulating events, no more First Order, no more dark influence, no more Snoke clone, Snoke creation, or whatever the heck Snoke was supposed to be that we still don't really have a full and satisfying answer for. No more of that influence on Ben Solo. The sequel trilogy exists, but it's on its own. It wouldn't be, it would be Legends basically, but not part of Legends because Legends has its own timeline. It gets very confusing. What would this mean? This would mean the sequel trilogy in its own timeline of events. This would mean exactly what I just said, so I don't really need to read this. It would become Legends, but it doesn't fit in the Legends timeline, so it's like off on its own. The thing is, now this isn't to say the events of the sequel trilogy wouldn't happen. Rey's parents were likely alive by the time that Palpatine died because Rey's dad was a clone of Palpatine, which makes Rey a daughter of Palpatine in essence. So would they still have tried to hide Rey? I mean, what would be the point of hiding her? But the First Order, Snoke, and the events that stem from all of that wouldn't happen if Palpatine didn't exist. Should you believe this rumor? Take any rumor with a grain of salt. It'd be hard to believe Disney would invest millions and billions of a franchise just to reset everything. But it would be hard to believe that if the fans have been calling for it and they're not making the money they wanted to make off that. Then it starts becoming a little more reasonable and realistic, I think. That said, Disney has already deemed the old expanded universe novels as legends. So there's an escape route of precedent for there to be an alternative universe in Star Wars. There's even more proof to this theory in the sequel trilogy. Funny enough, in The Last Jedi, Rey jumps into the dark side of the cave where she sees a mirror image of herself. Rise of Skywalker sees Dark Rey, a version of herself consumed by the dark side. Well, Luke did too when he, cut Vader's head off. He saw himself in there. So, well, we never really get a good explanation of this, but deeming these little moments as signs of alternative universes would be a nice, neat way to tie things all together. But this raises questions about Mandalorian and Star Wars Resistance, two shows that take place after Return of the Jedi. Are those two series canon? How does this work? How would it impact that? There's a lot of questions here. It's basically the end of the article there. So I will link it down below. It talks about the High Republic, but that happens before, so it wouldn't really affect this. But Mandalorian, I don't know if it really necessarily affect that. So far, it wouldn't, because no one's supposed to know Palpatine's still alive. unless it's something we don't know. But they could use, I'm guessing this, if there's a civil war and it's KK and Favreau if his team ends up winning out, they might use Mandalorian to facilitate some of this stuff, because they could kind of use the Veil of the Force, world between worlds idea in the Mandalorian to reset the timeline. So when you get to the sequel trilogy, none of it's happened. The thing is, I think with Kathleen Kennedy still involved, it's not going to change. I don't know if it's going to change anyway, but definitely with her involved, it won't. So I don't think anything would happen unless she, when her contract expires next year or she steps down. Either way. But I think that's the only thing that could happen. And then if Favreau ends up taking over, well, who knows? All bets are off. He does have the Mandalorian. It's been pretty popular. He might use that as a way to reset things. I could see that happening. How is that going to go over for fans? Yeah, it'll be, a mixed bag, I think. Some fans are just done with Star Wars and that's it, and I understand that. Some of us still hope that, with Mandalorian, there's like room for improvement. They're taking a step in the right direction to try to make things right. Is it too much to ask? Maybe. But, I guess I'm being a little naive or optimistic. But, hey, it's Star Wars. I love it. I want it to succeed. I want to see stuff I love again. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And do give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave a comment and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. It's literally... It's the cheapest thing on YouTube. It doesn't cost you anything. You get all these videos. This is free. So why not? All right, guys. Till next time, lock the doors and hope they don't have blasters.